Hey everybody, Robert Nichols here with Mr. Hezekiah Moore for daily training. This video is geared toward our teens and adults for some of the knife blocking drills that we've been doing from SAMI Combat Systems. Thank you to the SAMICS founder, Peter Verikoff, for allowing us to make these videos for you guys. This is normally information that's only available at SAMIInternational.com. So we're going to deal with angles 1 through 4, and then we'll do a separate video for dealing with angles 5 and 6, okay? Remember that when we do angles 1 through 4, we have what's considered the same side blocking, which is when I'm using the individual sides of my arm on the same side of my body, okay, here and here. All right, and then we also have the diagonal blocking, where I'm coming across the body on each time. And then we have double blocking, okay? Remember that when we're doing any of these blocks, we're ideally practicing them from the perfect position, which means, for instance, when I do a same side block on an angle 1, okay, if Mr. Moore swung at an angle 1, this is where it would be coming in at me, okay? My preference is always going to be to have the opposite foot. It might not always work out that way, but that's my preference. Okay, my hand is up on a 45-degree angle. It's not all the way out here. It's not all the way in here. A neat way to think about it would be where my arms are in position here, but I would block my angle 1 from this position. The reason why I want to have the opposite foot in a perfect world is because if this was the blade pointed at me and I have my opposite foot forward, I've got probably about a good 10 inches between his blade and my body. Whereas if my feet are switched, it just naturally comes closer to me, which obviously is bad. So here I am on a same side block for an angle 1. When he does an angle 2, my preference is going to be on the other side, the opposite side, away from it again. Angle 3 coming down low, okay, I have this downward position on my arm here. And remember, ultimately, we're just looking at one move, okay? We're not countering, we're not manipulating, we're not doing any of that. We're just looking at the individual block for right now. When he does an angle 4, and I go here, okay? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can practice this on your own or with somebody just feeding you the 4 angles. But you have angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4. When I do those same 4 blocks from a diagonal position, okay, I'm just going to think about my arm coming across my body. I always like to think about and make sure that from my shoulder to my elbow is as parallel to the ground as possible. If my elbow is pointed toward the floor, I lose a lot of power. But I have angle 1, I have angle 2. When angle 3 comes in, I'm going to bend the knees to go low. I do not want to invert my arm on a diagonal position, right? And then I have angle 4. So again, if Mr. Moore is feeding me the angles on an angle 1, I'm here. On an angle 2, I'm here. I can put my arm and my shoulder into it. Angle 3, and then angle 4. Now, 2 variations of things you can practice on your own or things that you can look at is, what if I only did all the blocks with my left arm? Okay, what if he's got a hold of my right arm? I can't use it to block. Okay, then ultimately I have to do a same side for an angle 1, but I do a diagonal for angle 2. Okay, let go. I would do a same side angle 3, a diagonal for angle 4. Okay, or I would do the same thing if I was only using my right arm to block. Okay, then also we could do double blocking, which is using both arms. Now the angle 1 and 2 is very easy because I'm just bringing up both the arms. If you look, this is my same side, this is my diagonal. I have my angle 1. My preference is going to be down toward the forearm and the wrist, and then a little bit up more toward the bend of the arm into the bicep, not in the direct middle because I give them a pivot point. 1, 2. The 3 and 4 are a little tricky because I have to be here. The way that I always remember is to try to think of what I'm doing with my same side and then adding my diagonal block in. So I would have 3 and I would have 4. Okay? And then of course another variation to look at it is if you have the blade in your hand at the same time. It doesn't change much because if that angle 1 comes in, I could still block it with my arm. I could use the end of the weapon to hit with, or I could use the blade to block as well. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, but so this lays the groundwork for the very basic blocking template. You have your same side blocks, you have your diagonal blocks, you have the use of one arm, and you have the use of both. Okay, so it's basic blocking for angles 1 through 4 for our teen and adult students.